My name's Lara, I'm a dual Canadian-British national and I moved to British Columbia, Canada with my husband Rich and our 2 dogs in November 2022, and we're absolutely loving every minute of it. So if you're new here, welcome, thanks for joining, and please consider subscribing if you enjoy what you see. So today's video is going to be another kind of casual sit down chatty video. I've got my cup of tea, morning cup of tea, and it's just going to kind of be a wrap up of our first month in Canada. So what we did over that first month and just kind of talking through what we got up to. I also did just want to say this isn't my usual filming spot, but my usual filming spot, Rich is on a call right above where I would be filming, and you can really hear the voice travelling down here, so excuse the temporary spot, but this spot works okay. My camera is on my desk at the moment, and this is like a little sofa that we have just behind. So yeah, sorry about the temporary setup for today and for the last video too. I'm filming these on the same day, but I've changed my clothes so it doesn't look like I am, but now I've just given away that they're filmed on the same day. But never mind, it's fine. So I'm just looking at my notes here. Let's begin. Why am I so awkward and crapulous? So we landed in Canada on the 19th of November and we stayed in an Airbnb for 2 nights in White Rock. So it's just outside of Vancouver, it's in the suburb of Surrey, and it was so nice around there. We were like, I guess the lady that owned the Airbnb is quite wealthy, because the area we were staying in, the houses were so nice, they were massive, and I just love like the residential streets around Vancouver. They're just so nice. The reason why we stayed there for 2 nights is we live in Penticton now, but obviously flew into Vancouver. Vancouver's about a 4.5 hour drive from Penticton. We flew on Saturday, my mum, Richard, and I flew on the Saturday, and my dad flew on the Sunday. I explained why in my last video, but we would have had to stay 1 night anyway to wait for my dad to land. But then when he landed, we just wanted 1 more night to just kind of regroup and chill and spend an evening together before doing the drive to Penticton. So that's why we had 2 nights there, and we just had a really nice couple of nights there. Obviously Rich, Mum and I landed there, got there quite late on the Saturday. By the time we sorted through all the paperwork, it was probably about 6:30 in the evening, and we were very jet lagged and tired. But we just ordered in an A&W, which is a burger chain out here. I'm vegetarian and they do the Beyond Meat burger at A&W, and it's so good. And we always crave it when we're not in Canada, so yeah, we had one of those when we landed. A couple of drinks, of course, to celebrate being there, and yeah, then an early night, and then an early start the next morning because of jet lag. And while we were waiting for my dad to land, we drove to the IKEA in Vancouver and bought a couple of basic things that we'd need for the kitchen, so like mugs, glasses, wine glasses of course, dinner plates, tea towels, you know, just kind of like your basics. And yeah, enjoyed that, looking around at all the, I love like going around IKEA and seeing all the rooms they have set up and everything. So yeah, we did that, came back, got my mum up, had lunch, which was another burger chain, Triple O's. Triple O's is really, really good too. They do the Impossible burger as the vegetarian burger, so yeah, we had that. Not a very healthy couple of days. And then we picked my dad and our other dog Molly up from the airport at about 5 o'clock on Sunday the 21st of November. Drove back, had some more drinks, and had an Indian takeaway. So yeah, heavy food couple of days and probably why I put on so much weight when we landed, but life's for living. I was enjoying myself, right? And when we got to Penticton, we are super lucky enough that my mum's best friend lives in Penticton, and she's obviously a friend of ours. She's like a family friend. Her and her partner were away in Nova Scotia, and our house didn't complete until Wednesday, so we got to Penticton on Monday and our house didn't complete until Wednesday, so we were very lucky that we were able to stay at their house. We're so grateful that we were able to stay there, because we ended up having to stay longer than until just Wednesday, because there were a couple of issues with this house before we moved in. The dishwasher leaked in the kitchen, and like the ceiling got ruined and all the flooring and everything, so that set us back moving in. And then the Wi-Fi was delayed, like getting that installed, so We ended up staying at our friend's house longer than we originally thought, and oh my god, we were so lucky that we just have that person here in Penticton that we can rely on, like a true proper family friend. And yeah, just forever grateful to them for letting us stay there, and we owe them a dinner when they get back from their holidays. They're away at the moment, but yes, so grateful, so lucky, and yeah, really grateful for that for sure. So obviously we landed in Canada on the 19th of November, which is around the time that there's Black Friday sales, which was amazing for moving in, like, you know, buying things that we needed for our house. We had stuff coming on our shipping container, of course. We didn't get that until just a couple of weeks ago. We're now at the end of January, so we were without it for a long time. I'm going to do a video at some point on moving things from the UK to Canada and things that I would reconsider, but I'm not going to go into that now. But the point I'm trying to make is, oh my god, Black Friday sales, they helped us get so much stuff for this house. Crazy prices. At some point I'm going to do an updated tour of the house, and I'll point out things that we got in the Black Friday sale, what the prices were. But yeah, that was such a good time to be landing in Canada around those sales, because obviously we have Black Friday sales in the UK, but it's much more of an American Canadian thing, and the savings out here are just blow the UK Black Friday deals out of the water completely. And yeah, we are definitely every single year when there's a Black Friday sale going to utilise that Black Friday sale, and we are going to buy stuff for the house 100%, because yeah, it was a godsend, to be honest with you. It really was. So within our first week of being in Penticton, Rich got a job at one of the local grocery stores, a part-time job, which was amazing for him to get something so quickly. I still had my UK job, which I still have at the moment up until the end of this month, the end of January, but he had no income coming in at all, so for him to get that so quickly was amazing, and yeah, was so pleased for him about that. So yeah, who would have known that he would have got a job within his first week? It was like honestly within the first couple of days that he got that job, so really super good for him. Yeah, he's still there to this day. Rich and I took an overnight trip to Kelowna for Rich's 30th birthday, which was great. It was so fun. We had quite a few drinks and just really enjoyed ourselves, and we stayed at a hotel in Kelowna that we've stayed in before, but it was such a nice feeling to go and stay in this hotel in Kelowna for one night, not have loads of suitcases with us like we have before when we've done our road trips around BC, and like to know that when we checked out of the hotel at Kelowna, like to know we were driving back to Penticton and back home, it was such a nice feeling. Yeah, I just can't really describe it. It's just like, oh, we're from Penticton now. It was really nice. But yeah, that was a great night. Just really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. We had like a nice Mexican meal out at a chain restaurant. They have one in Nelson, and we've been to the one in Nelson. Really good food and good margaritas. So yeah, really nice birthday meal there, and then just a couple of drinks out at some of the bars. So many good bars in Kelowna, and yeah, we really enjoyed that. And we are going to try and do like a one night overnight trip to Kelowna with like a meal and drinks as often as we can, because it's only an hour up the road and it's just really fun. So a couple of things that have changed about me within our first month. They're not drastic changes or anything like that, but yeah, a couple of things that I didn't expect to change about me, I guess. The first one is I'm a coffee drinker now. I never drank coffee in the UK at all, and I always said to myself, I'm gonna try it a bit more in Canada because I know it's a really big thing out there. But yeah, I think I had tried coffee before in the UK, but didn't really like it. I had my first kind of ordered coffee from Starbucks in the UK just before we left to come out here. I had the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Sorry, my battery is about to die. Let me just sort that out. Oh, hopefully this is still I'm charging it, but I don't know if it's actually charging while I film, so I'm going to shoot through these last few things that we did really quickly. So yeah, I had my first bought latte in the UK just before we left, a pumpkin spice latte with oat milk. I drink oat milk, but then it seems really silly because of something I'm about to explain, which uses cow's milk. But let me get into it. So yeah, I started drinking coffee out here. The first coffee I bought out here was the sugar cookie oat latte from Starbucks. Oh my god, that is so nice, and I miss that so much because it's a seasonal drink. I do have something very similar here now. I have the True North blonde espresso, so it's like their lightest coffee espresso with 3 shots of sugar-free vanilla syrup and oat milk, and that tastes very similar, to be fair. But yeah, I've started drinking coffee, and the thing that contradicts myself drinking oat milk is when I make a coffee at home, I use the Tim Hortons medium roast ground instant coffee, vanilla oat milk, and then International Delight vanilla sugar-free creamer, cow's milk and oats milk. But I eat cheese and, you know, dairy products. I just try and cut back on having cow's milk, and I've just got used to the taste of having oat milk in my teas and coffees. I've been having it for about 2 years now, so that's just a little bit of reasoning why I drink oat milk in my teas and coffees. But then I'm happy to add creamer. It's not because I can't have dairy or anything. I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian. I try and be plant-based as much as I can. But yeah, oat milk is just how I've had my teas and coffees for a long time. Anyway, this is completely irrelevant. I drink coffee now. I am a coffee drinker now. I'm in Canada. So another thing that's changed about me since we got here is before we got here, I really thought that I wanted to have a part-time retail job while we were out here as a way to meet people, and I just thought I really want to go back into retail just for a little bit. And I did get a retail job at a grocery store out here, and it just really wasn't the right thing for me at all. The people there were lovely. I've not done retail work in a really long time. There's a big difference with Canadian money compared to UK money. They don't have 1 cent, 2 cents coins, they don't have 50 cents coins. I'm not brilliant at math, so a lot of it was like rounding up and down, and then like when you're giving change, it's confusing when you don't recognise the money straight away. The way this supermarket worked was all their fruit and veg and fresh produce was coded, not something that you scan or not something on the till that you tap. So like, you know, in the UK, if you go to Sainsbury's, on the touchscreen till, you just type in the vegetable and it will come up, and it wasn't anything like that. You had to memorise all these codes, and I just thought, I don't need to have this job because I'm working full-time in the UK. And at this point, we've just moved here. I don't want to take on too much, so I actually quit after my first day, which is something I have never ever done before in my life. But I came away from my first day really not feeling good about it. You know, you either know if you want to do a job or if you don't. I just didn't get that feeling at all. The thought of going in the next day to do a bit more training filled me with dread. They were going to put me on the till on my own on my third day. This is nothing, no shade or anything against the company at all. It just wasn't right for me personally. And yeah, I just really didn't know what to do. I was going to initially try and go in for my second day and do training, but I was just getting, you know, just having those horrible feelings about it. And I just thought to myself, look, I've done this move to Canada because it's my dream. I want my life out here to be happy, and it has to be what I want it to be out here, right? And this job is not going to make me happy. I need to put myself first. I'm always so worried about what other people think and upsetting other people, so that I will often put that before how I personally feel about something. And I was just like, I can't do that out here because that's, you know, I moved out here to have the best life ever, and I need to put my thoughts and my feelings first. So it was obviously really good about leaving, and like I told them all the reasons, and that it just wasn't the right thing for me, and I was really sorry, and that they were all brilliant and helpful, and it seems like a great place to work, but that it just wasn't for me. Sometimes things don't work out the way you think they will, and that's absolutely fine. But yeah, that's something that changed about me, because I was sure that I wanted a part-time retail job. And I think, yeah, that just made me realise that maybe I don't, and that's okay. You don't know until you try, and if it doesn't work out, then that's fine. And yeah, I just drew a line under that, and yeah, I'm as happy as can be. So within our first month here in Canada, we met a couple of Brits. We we did a wine and cheese tasting at one of the local wineries, and the lady that was hosting it was a dual Canadian-British national, just like me. So we chatted to her lots, we got her number, and we're friends on Facebook, so it was really nice to make a contact that way. And that same day we also went to one of the local breweries, and the brewery was owned by a guy who's from Essex, which is where we're from. So that was nice having that connection as well, and he said he could tell we were from Essex from a mile off because of our accents apparently, and to get used to everybody thinking we're Australian, but we've been used to that before. Every time we've come to Canada before, I always get asked if I'm Australian, so yeah, that was a nice connection as well. But it does make me wonder, I wonder how he found out about Penticton, because it's such a small place within Canada, and obviously I know about it because of family and everything. And that just next time I go in there, I've not been in there since, I'm gonna ask him how he found out about Penticton. Because yeah, how do people find out about it if they're not Canadian? I don't know. I will be interested to find out, and I will let you know once I ask him. Within our first month to Canada, we also did a 2-night Christmassy trip down to Vancouver and Whistler, which was amazing. We went to the Canyon Lights at Capilano Suspension Bridge, which is something I've wanted to do for so long. We are BC annual ticket pass holders, which means we get access to the suspension bridge for a whole year. And we probably won't use it that much because we don't go down to Vancouver that often, but yeah, I've wanted to do that for so long, so that was so nice to finally be able to do that. And we also went to the Vancouver Christmas market, which was really, really nice. And then we drove up to Whistler to see it looking all Christmassy because all the buildings are like Alpine style. So seeing them in the snow with all the lights was so nice. And yeah, we've decided that we want to make that a tradition. So every Christmas we want to go and have a 2-night stay down in Vancouver and just get all festive, feel all Christmassy, go see the Canyon Lights and go to the Christmas market and just have fun. So yeah, that was a big highlight of our first month in Canada, and we were so lucky to be able to do that. To be able to do that trip, Rich also got a car within his first month of Canada, I guess probably after about 2 weeks, because we had it to drive up to Kelowna. That was something that he really wanted to make sure he got quickly, so that was great that he got his car quickly, and it's been reliable, it's great, it gets him from A to B, and he's got no issues with it whatsoever. So yeah, we got a car. I say we, it's his car, I don't drive yet, but when I do drive, we'll share it for sure. Rich also got his full-time job at one of the local banks here, which is going to be his career within the first month, so that's absolutely amazing. He's started there now, he absolutely loves it. My battery is about to die. What's the last point? We had our first Christmas and first New Year here in Canada, and it was just amazing. Our first month here has just been incredible, and I just cannot wait for the rest of our lives here in Canada and for all the memories and things that are to come. But yeah, I'm sorry I had to end this so quickly, but it is literally dying. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to wrap this up really quickly now. So that's all for today's video. Please consider subscribing and following my other social medias linked below for more Canada content. I'm Lara, this is Our Life in Canada, and until next time, take care, bye.